Hey guys, how's it going? Frosty here. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about a lot of misconceptions about ranked and a lot of things that low elo players are kind of struggling with. And it might not even be skill wise, it might actually just be knowledge wise or attitude wise. And so, these are a couple of simple things to kind of like change your perspective or start thinking of that can actually really help improve your play immediately. So, the first one is going to be that, oh, well, if I want to succeed in solo queue and get to where I feel I deserve to be, I need to play a character that can snowball and carry, right? And that's not necessarily true. Like, a lot of players are playing Vayne, they're playing Lee Sin, they're playing like Yasuo or Zed because they feel as though these characters are some of the best characters to outplay the opponent, get fed, and carry a game. And it's actually not true at all. Lee Sin is a great character, and like all these characters are great, but Lee Sin doesn't scale well. And so if you're not extremely good at closing out a game and carrying the game and making it end super fast, then you're actually not going to be very successful with them because you are very reliant on your team being able to close the game out with you. And obviously all the other characters are completely dependent on your skill and the skill of others peeling for you, or being able to team fight effectively, stuff like that. The difference between a good Vayne player and a good Annie player relative to bronze play or silver play isn't that big of a difference. It's a huge difference in challenger, master, diamond, that sort of thing, but it's actually not that big of a difference between a good Annie player and a good Vayne player in low ELO. It's just like the difference isn't that high. And so what does that mean? Well, if you play someone like Annie instead of someone like Zed, Annie is a lot easier to play. And she has AoE stun, she has a lot to give to her team even if she's behind. She has a ton of burst, she's ranged, she's fairly easy to use, fairly easy to farm with. Just straight up easy, right? Now, you can use that character and learn other parts of the game at the same time because you're not so much concentrating on, okay, I gotta make sure this Q lands, I gotta make sure like my ultimate's lined up and then I have to go back here and do this. No, it's, do I have my stun up or do I have like my stun one away and then I can shield the last second? And how am I gonna play this out? Or how am I supposed to follow up on my team? That's pretty much it. So this allows you to spend a lot of time looking around the map and thinking about what you should be doing. And this allows you to actually become a better player rather than becoming a better character player, which is a huge difference in low ELO. If you're a good player and you're playing Bard, then you're going to raise in ELO, it doesn't matter, because you are warding effectively your shot calling for your team, and you're making the right decisions and rotations to be able to win anyway. It doesn't matter if you're playing Bard or Tom or any of these characters that people kind of laugh about, because you're playing effectively and the opposing team is probably not. So if you remember this and you remember that you can win virtually in a multitude of ways, you don't even have to fight a single fight to be able to win if you have amazing rotations and stuff, then you should really be focusing on your fundamentals and your knowledge of the game rather than trying to be good at one character and trying to have that one character carry you. So that's something that's been frustrating me a lot lately, is because the characters that are like Yasuo and Zed are great and all, but they require a lot more thought into playing the character and a lot more effort and awareness that you don't really look at the map as much, or you don't really think about warding as much, or think about, okay, like, I've done pretty well here, I'm going to roam out bottom lane or check out on how they're doing, and I'm going to make sure like everything's going great, and I'm going to make sure that I'm rotating top so then top can get a little bit of a lead and get a little bit of pressure, and then I'll come back and farm ahead again. And so this is something that a lot of Zed players and Yasuo players at low ELO aren't going to be doing. They're going to be focusing on trying to get fed, and that's just the wrong approach to ranked. So right approach to ranked is you go to llking.net, right? And then you go to the champions, or type in llking.net/champions, and you go to the win rate button and you click it, so then it's, you know, sorting by the win rate. Right now it's Skarner. So you look at these characters and you look, okay, I think general difficulty, right, which characters are fairly easy to play and are doing extremely well. This is based upon majority bronze and silver, so you can be like, oh, well, Amumu has, you know, right now a 53% win rate. Okay, well, Amumu is a really easy jungler, you know, okay, well, I might be able to learn him as my jungler. Or, you know, you look and you're like, oh, Heimerdinger is doing extremely well too. Maybe I'll learn Heimerdinger mid and top because, you know, it's pretty easy to do. It's not too hard of a character, and I might try and learn him. Stuff like that. You just look at the characters and you go, okay, cool. So this is a character that's fairly easy. They're doing really, really well in win rate, and you check one more thing, which is what does the character have in their kit? Like, what do they really bring to the team? Because right now Garen's at the top of the list as well, and it's like, okay, well, what does Garen bring to the team? Well, he has this nice ult, which is pretty cool. Like, it's definitely a cool particle effect, and it does a shit ton of damage. He has, you know, his AoE now, and he has like a speed up and a silence, right? Which is alright, but it's a single target silence. There's no slows, no stuns, no nothing. So everything would have to be item based if he does get any items that, you know, CC at all. So he can't peel, and if you can't peel, then all the players that are still playing LeBlanc and Zed and stuff will just kill your AD carry. Garen doesn't really bring much to the team and is relying upon his Juggernaut strength to be able to win games. And, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you want to pick a character that, you know, is most likely going to work if played properly, rather than sometimes will work, sometimes won't. Depends on the enemy team comp or your team comp or something. So, like, you know, Ahri is a great choice, but she's a little bit harder. Heimerdinger, you know, he can do AoE stun, and he can put up turrets and control different areas. He can siege, he can poke. He has a lot of different things to his kit that allow him to really help out a team. Like, if he wants to put down a bunch of turrets in lane and camp and have his team poke down the enemy team while sieging, he can totally do that. Like, he brings a lot of versatility to the team. He can put turrets over the Dragon Wall or the Baron Wall into the pit and start doing it, you know, stealthily and doing that way. So he's actually a pretty decent character to carry with in low elo because he's relatively easy. He has a lot of, you know, utility. He has different roles that he can play, and he's not at all that bad of a character. He's in a tier list, he's actually tier 1, so perfect. There you go. Malzahar is the same way. Like, he is really easy to farm with. You know, he's safe. Safe is extremely important in low elo. He has a combo that can basically kill any squishy character. He can negate any character in a fight just by suppressing them. So he's actually a great character too. Jungler is Amumu. Amumu is an amazing character because he has an AoE CC that can set up a wombo combo if there is any wombo combos. He is a pretty decent ganker. He has a great E and a great W based off of percentage, which is incredibly well scaling. So he can actually take out objectives fairly well as well. And he just can melt enemies without going AP. He doesn't even have to go AP because of his percentage scaling. So he can be sitting in the middle of a team fight, tanking up damage after his initial initiation, and he can actually be doing a substantial amount of damage to the tanks while peeling for his AD carry. Janna's a great support. She takes a little bit of skill to like pick up, but once you got her, you got her. And she's a peeling master. If you understand low elo and you're playing support, you're going to have to play a support that can capitalize on the enemy mistakes, but at the same time keep yours from making mistakes or saving your allies from mistakes, because they're going to make them. And Janna is one of the perfect characters for that, so I definitely recommend Janna as a support. That's my main currently, and has been for quite a long time. And she's single-handedly carried me to gold for the first time that I broke away from the mentality that I've been talking about today. I wouldn't suggest Warwick, because once again, not really much to the team. His attack speed buff is really nice if it's in the right team comp. His suppression is pretty good too if your team has a ton of like CC, but if you're just picking a main or picking a character for that role, Warwick isn't versatile enough for you to, you could decide on, okay, Warwick's gonna be my jungler main. So think about these things. Go down the list, pick out who you enjoy, who you can really put effort into, who you really like playing, and are fairly easy to use. Are they versatile? Are they able to help the team in a variety of ways, or just one specific way that's really, really well? And can, provide a CC or AoE CC, and try and carry that way. Don't try and carry from the perspective of I need to go 20-0 to be able to win the game. No, you can go 7-9 and end up carrying the game by the right decisions. And in the next video I'm going to talk about those decisions. Just remember, when you're champion selecting and you're checking your pool and you're making your pool, that you got to keep in mind what you can bring to the team, the utility you can bring to the team, the damage that you can bring to the team. The easiest way. You don't want to be playing a character that requires 29 inputs in a short amount of time. If you can do 3 inputs, do the same amount of damage in the same amount of time. So think about it that way. Think about what's most efficient, and don't worry about skill champs versus no skill champs, because you're not playing ranked at a bronze or silver level to play skill champs. You're playing it to learn the game. And unfortunately, until you're high gold, platinum, and some people even debate diamond, you don't really understand the game that much. So hopefully you guys take some consideration into this and it helps out a bit. In the next video I'm going to be talking about different ways to carry the game if you're not going 20-0, to help you guys out, make sure the transition's a bit smoother. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and you'll be able to get more insightful tutorials. And if you guys enjoy it, let me know so that I can continue doing this for you guys, and put your feedback below.